Yeah, they say I'm confrontational. I want peace, just not at the cost of my silence. Speak up. Through the hood, I keep hearing people say I'm supposed to die tonight. They can't destroy what they ain't built in the first place. So I'm finna ride tonight. I went from a truth seeker to truth speaker, truth through the booth, your Bluetooth.
Yo, have you ever started your show? Let me take this off. And not even been live? Do you know how many times I've done that in the past 2 weeks? Where I legit went live and I had a whole conversation for 5 minutes and I wasn't even live. It's rough out here in these social media streets. What is up, guys? I'm back for another episode of Matter. I see a lot of people in here. Mo is in the building. What's happening? Drop your location. Please make sure you share this live if you're watching on Facebook. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new here, and hit the notification bell so that you never miss another episode. I have a special guest with me, and I'm going to let him introduce himself. I don't like introducing my guests. I like letting them introduce themselves, and then we get into a conversation where we can build, and it's fun. We got Monroe, North Carolina in house. It's my home state. Thanks for the support. But I'm going to bring my guest on. He is the BLEXIT Director of Utah, Jonathan Harvey. Thanks for coming on with me today.
It's good to be with you. How are you?
Good. I know you saw my gaff. Biden has them all the time, but we can have them over here on the conservative side too.
Right.
So tell me about what you got going on with BLEXIT and Utah, what your plans are, and why you got involved.
Well, my name is, like you said, my name is Jonathan Harvey, and I am the State Director of BLEXIT Utah. I've been the director for approximately now 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Got involved basically because I had started out in the role of O&P, and some things had happened. So my board asked me, would you be willing to be the state director because things are happening with the director at the time. I said no. Then my board gave BLEXIT an ultimatum and said, if he quits, we quit. So I said, let's do it. Now, for me, I've been conservative for approximately 13 years.
Okay.
I'm 55 years old, but I wasn't really into politics. I was just doing my thing, living life, running my business, and just doing what we do. But things started to get crazy in my life, and with politics. And in 2012, I had my which is 9-year-old, my life changed. I said, hey, it's time to settle down, buckle up, and be dad. And so that's when I really started getting into politics, because I started worrying about my kids' future. And it took off from there.
Okay. That's where most of us got involved. That's why I got involved. I actually started podcasting, like we told you, like I talked to you about off camera 2 years ago now. And it was literally because I got tired of people lying about COVID. I just got tired of people just accepting lies. I'm like, if I can see this, and I'm not on social media, and there are influencers all over the place, I know you see this. Like, I can't be the only smart one in the room. So a lot of people have gotten involved for the very same reasons. Just a brighter future for the kids, and wanting people to step up and be held to task of stepping up for America. That's what it's all about.
I am truly all about the American greatness. I do believe in freedom. I do believe in free agency. I truly support the Constitution. First, second, fourth, 14th, so forth and so on. But we've gotten away from that. BLEXIT was something that really I had never really thought about. And I didn't, to be honest, I didn't know a lot about Black history in 2012. And then I started educating myself to the lies and what the truth really was. There's a lot of us out there in the Black community who really don't know our history. Because I promise you, if we learn our history, you would leave the Democrat Party. There's no doubt about it. If you knew your history, you will not be a Democrat. And some people like to get offended by saying, oh man, you don't know what you're talking about. I said, well, read it. You ain't got to listen to me. Read it. Well, that's the white man history. Then you tell me your version of the real history then. The Democrat history? Is that the history you're talking about? The one you're trained, not taught, the one you're trained to believe? Come on, people, get out of here with that crap.
I agree. See, we're on the same page with that. When you enlighten yourself of the actual history, you know, the truth, it does piss you off a bit. I went through a phase where I was just like, what? So everything I was taught was a lie? So you just wanted me to think that I was less than, and I'm actually not? It's more so angry with my folks, because I'm like, man, you guys have had access to, all this information, and you're not even taking advantage of the fact that you can go out and research and actually find these things. So I feel you on that. Black folks absolutely do not know their history, and I think BLEXIT is an awesome tool that is definitely geared towards the youth and getting them up to par with what American history actually is, what's in the Constitution, the fact that they are pushing entrepreneurship, school choice. I love BLEXIT. I love all the things they stand for, and it's good, in my opinion, that we have something that is solely targeted towards Black youth. And I want to get into your episode that you did. This is the only one that I caught, and it was fireworks. I was listening to it last night, and I didn't turn it off. It's rare that somebody can get me to do that on an episode where I'm like, I'm interested in what you got to say. I have a few clips, but I want you to really explain what was going on in that episode, because you were fiery, man. You were fiery.
That was kind of like me boiling over, because, in our community, let me put it, the conservative Black community is relatively small here in the United States. We're growing. Mm-hmm. We are growing. But the problem is, we got to stop the fighting. We got to stop the separation. The things that the white folks did to us, we need to stop doing ourselves, because in actuality, you're destroying the conservative movement. I personally believe that religion needs to be taken out of the conservative movement. Granted, I know a lot of the Constitution was founded around religion, or forms of the Constitution by, like, equality, for example, and some other things that are in the scripture that are indoctrinated in the Bible. But one thing about me, I don't like being a hypocrite. As the director of BLEXIT, we have what's called the bylaws. Our bylaws says that we cannot discriminate. Cannot. So what that does, when you have a 501c or C3, you're subject to the government when you make a mistake. So, for example, the reason I got a little ticked off, because there was a post on Facebook, and that post says that Utah BLEXIT was working with log cabin Republicans. Now, let's get something clear. That actually wasn't the truth. We weren't really working with the log cabin Republicans. One of the members that sit on my board is very close to Lady MAGA. She was supporting, because she owns a business in her restaurant, she was supporting him herself, not as BLEXIT. But what he had done, made a post taking a picture of one of our pictures and combined it with his event, just the picture only. So people were thinking that BLEXIT is now working with the log cabin Republican. Now, if that was the case, I would tell you so, because you cannot discriminate. Legally, you cannot discriminate when you're a 501c3. Cannot. So that started a trigger. That started a big trigger, because a lot of the ambassadors of BLEXIT were not happy with that, because we're supposedly been working with the LGBT community. Well, that is what struck a fire under me for my own podcast, because I got tired of that. I got tired of people spreading hate. I got tired of people creating divisiveness. I've always said simply as this: if somebody is sinning, God will handle that himself. And what we do
Mhm.
as mortals, we just pray for them. We just pray for them. And then we let God do what he does. And I've always said, I don't care about somebody's lifestyle. I care about their life's work. If their life work is fantastic and it's 10 times better than any straight man, I'll take that. That's what that podcast was about.
Okay. So I'm we're gonna have a conversation. I'm gonna give you some pushback because I want to understand why. You
Please.
said in the beginning you said that religion needs to be taken out. Help me understand that when our core principles of America, our Constitution, is centered around Christianity. Like there's
Well,
no getting away from it.
well, you're right, but there's a point up to a point that's true. The problem is simply this. Even though we use religion in this country as a foundation of this, as part of the foundation of this country, among other things that this country implemented the Constitution. Now, but the problem is when you take religion, you take it and you tailor it to your own personal choice to strike another individual down, that becomes a problem. There are so many sins out there that we just lie passive and let it go by. There's no score of 1 to 10 what sin is better than or worse than the other. But we as human beings decide that we determine what sin is more sinful than others. And that's what's creating the division. Because you got to remember, blacks for many, many years always said the Republicans were racist. We were always called, well, I wasn't a
Mhm.
Republican back then, but we always were told Republicans were racist, racist, racist. And the reason why was because they didn't like abortions. Republicans were all about, if you weren't Christian, you were wrong. So who picks these people up? The Democrat Party. See, people who want to be like us as far as their free agency, people who want to live under the Constitution, have freedom, just like we have, they're going to go where
Mhm.
they're accepted because they're not going to feel wanted, even though they can do great work. We got to stop pushing people away who want to help do the work that we need done at the end of the day. God will take care of those who are sinning. And it's not just if you're gay, if you're straight, if you're a murderer, if whatever the sin may be, he'll take care of that. If you truly believe you have to atone for your sins.
Okay. While I agree with you on some of your sentiments on what you said, um, I will be honest. I was one of those um, conservatives that was very thrown off and taken aback as to why there is even a connection with the log cabin group, Lady MAGA, and BLEXIT. BLEXIT is for the betterment of Black youth. Why do we need to associate or attach immoral behavior? It is what it is, whether they agree with what I'm saying or not, and attach it to Blexit. If when Blexit is not about accepting any and everybody, like your sexuality shouldn't be the first thing people understand about you. And just for the record, I have no problem with anybody gay or straight who is a part of or wanting to actually conserve traditional values, and they also have an understanding of, look, I don't agree with your lifestyle, but if you're going to be on board and helping do that, I'm cool. But any conservative leading with the fact that I'm gay, I don't know much about Lady Maga. All I know is you're dressed in drag. That has nothing to do with the LGBT movement. It has to do with adult entertainment. So if conservatives like me are saying, absolutely not, no, I will not work with you. No, I won't change my foundation. I won't bend. I won't break on these things. Why is that deemed bigotry and hate? if you're just simply calling the truth out.
Because you're asking them to live according to you, and if they don't live according to you, you won't break bread or sip tea with them. See, you asking people to do what you want them to do. They have a right under the Constitution, because you got to remember, conservatism is not about conserving religion. This is where people get it wrong. It's not about conserving religion. It's conserving a way of life that we live as conservatives. See, we put the name conservatives on how we live, how we want to live. We want to live conservative under the rights of the Constitution. See, when conservative was founded by Rush Limbaugh, who was the father who started this stuff, it wasn't about necessarily your lifestyle. Now, look, will it work for me? No, it's not my lifestyle. It's just not me. I personally don't roll that way. But I don't drink alcohol either. I don't steal either. I don't rob either. If that's somebody's lifestyle, then they suffer to the system, or they suffer to the Father. They don't suffer by my hands, because I'm just a mere man who have my own sins. See, when we walk around on this planet judging people because of their sin, there's a saying: every time you point one finger at somebody else, 3 fingers point back to you. People got to realize that is, you're no different than anybody else. Yes, their lifestyle is a little bit different than, or quite a bit different from a lot of us, but it's their sin. And it's not my job, or any of us' job, to tell people how to live. If you believe in the Constitution, you have to know that to be true. It's called free agency.
So I'm going to read a quote from one of the founding fathers. And I'm sorry, I got jets flying over me. I live next to a military base. I'm going to read a quote from a founding father, John Adams. He said, and I quote, "Our Constitution was made only for moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." Our Constitution was founded, written. You can find several pages throughout the Constitution, all through it, where I can definitely relate it back to the Bible. So if the founding father, John Adams, is saying that this was made for people who have moral and religious backgrounds, why can't we as Christians tell Lady MAGA, absolutely not? Listen, if you want to dress like a man and be gay and not lead with your sexuality and fight to conserve traditional values, which entails Christianity, our Judeo-Christian values, all good, bro. But you dressed up like a clown? No.
See, here's the thing. Let's go back to the John Adams. These are also the same people who owned slaves.
Everybody did. That was a form of cheap labor back then. Of course not. But that has no merit here.
Well, actually, it does. They're hypocrites. How are you going to preach one thing, but yet you own? How are you going to tell what morality is, yet you own another man?
Well, did they treat their slaves with respect?
Doesn't really? Is there such thing as respect if you own another human being? There is no respect. Really? I guarantee you, most of Black America tell you there's nothing cool about if you own a slave. This is the reason why we're tearing this country up right now, because of slavery back in the day. The immorality behavior of the white man back in the day. So we're trying to now say it's okay. And if you treat a slave, it's great. The key word is slave. The key word slave.
Go ahead. I'm gonna let you finish.
The key word is slave. There's no good relevance to that word slave, enslave, slavery. I don't care if you were a white slave and then, and it didn't slave back in those days. Doesn't matter. You are a slave. So,
look, I'm gonna fact check you real quick. John Adams didn't own slaves. So his
George
quote,
Washington did, though.
Listen, that was a form of cheap labor. We cannot. We can't. This is a trap that a lot of Black folks fall in, right? Well, they own slaves. Well, you know what? It was a form of cheap labor back then. most people were indentured slaves, meaning they were hired by somebody for an extended amount of time until you fulfilled whatever duty they gave you, and then you went about your day. You went about your way.
You're speaking of
We
some, not the norm, though. So
but
that's not the norm.
we can't go back and try to be like, well, okay, that, yeah, I get that quote, but they already owned slaves. Well, that was a form that was legal back then. So it's not immoral if when something
It
is
was
legal.
legal because there's a bunch of white men created the laws so they can purposely own another human being. You know,
You
the
realize
Bible
that we
says
sold our own people into slavery. The first 20
we
slaves brought to
understand that,
Jamestown were
but
Portuguese.
yeah, but those people weren't the ones who wrote the Constitution.
Doesn't change the Constitution. You still live by it. I'm pretty sure you quote the
No.
Constitution as a black man.
I do live by the Constitution, but the fact is, slavery. We're talking about slavery. You use a quote from John Adams of morality,
Mm-hmm.
but up till 1863, they all had damn slaves.
Because it was
Nobody was fighting it.
it was cheap labor.
That doesn't justify. Well, tell that to the Muslims in China right now.
I'm not Chinese, so I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Well, that point is a little bit. How do I say that? That's a little callous to say. The fact
Why is it callous?
People can't, because we're trying to justify slavery now to prove a point today. If Lady Maga dressed up like a woman, that's his choice. You don't have to like it, but it's his choice.
It is his choice, and we have every right to voice an opinion on his choice when you are forming alliances and working with people within BLEXIT. Like, it's disrespectful to black people, number one, because I don't really give a shit about you wanting to dress as a woman. We're trying to free black minds. Lady Maga has nothing to do with that.
See, now let me ask you something.
Sure.
We talk about Lady Maga because he had an event which a member of BLEXIT put on at her own expense. See, the whole problem with this whole scenario, you guys keep talking about Lady Maga. Lady Maga has nothing to do with BLEXIT. This was about Jamie putting on an event for the Log Cabin Republican at her restaurant and using her own money. BLEXIT had nothing to do with this. You guys keep trying to tie this in together. Log Cabin Republican. Now, I will tell you this. If I wanted to do an event with Log Cabin Republican, I can't discriminate against them. The bylaws does not allow you to do that. Read what a 501c3 bylaws are. Read BLEXIT by, I think it's article number 9. Read it. You cannot discriminate. If it's prohibited, you cannot discriminate it. That's
how is it discrimination?
Because it's just like this. I can't say Democrat or Republican. When I'm speaking as BLEXIT, I can't say Democrat or Republican. I can say liberal and I can say conservative.
But that's still implying Democrat and Republican.
Well, that's how it works. This is what people who don't know how these 503c3 work. It's a nonpartisan. It's a fact. You can call Candace, you can call Brandon, you can call Pierre, you can ask James Sullivan. Cannot say it. Cannot say it.
But
can't discriminate. You can't discriminate.
That's not telling somebody no, we're not interested is not discrimination.
I had the same problem as you did, Sonny. That's a fact. You can't do that. You can't.
So would you work with Planned Parenthood?
You know what? Me personally, I would say no. But as a chapter, if there's a situation where it's to come arise and they say to me, hey, we can't work with you because if I say because you're Planned Parenthood, then I become political. See, you can't be political in a 501c3. That's true.
You're playing with me, right? You're playing right.
No. You could be a C4 and do that. But as a C3, you cannot do that. It's very hard for us to tell people we don't like you because you're gender. We don't like you because you're the third sex. We have a tough time getting out of it. You can ask anybody who runs a C3. We have to remain completely nonpartisan and we can't endorse any political affiliation. I can't even endorse a Republican governor under BLEXIT. Cannot endorse him. Can't show any favoritism. So
I
people
get
don't
what you're
understand.
saying, right?
People don't
And
understand how this works.
I understand how it works.
We have to protect our national chapter. I can't go out and do something stupid because, look, I'm conservative. And people know I struggled with a lot of this in the very beginning because it didn't make a lot of sense to me. But when you read the bylaws and when you go and you got the CEO telling you, you can't do that kind of stuff.
Okay,
so we have to be careful.
I'm going to shift the conversation back because
Okay.
I have these questions written down. Why is a drag queen tagging BLEXIT on Twitter? And in this event that you're talking about, why?
Because he was under the impression thinking that he was working with BLEXIT, but he was not.
Why was he under that impression?
That's a good question. And the only thing he did was that mention that the Log Cabin Republican was having a dinner put on by BLEXIT, which we cleared up and said that's not true. When I got the call, I said, no, that's got to be changed because it's not true.
Can you explain this? Like, you literally posted, bro, and it says Log Cabin Group. Like, it's at the bottom. He tagged this. I want to understand.
I'm going to tell you how it went. The top picture was taken a month earlier. I had just mentioned he went on our Facebook, captured the picture, and linked that together. What you see at the very top there that's Senator Congressman Blake Moore. That was a meeting that BLEXIT had with one of the national congressmen in Salt Lake City. What people take and crop and add together, I don't control that.
But why'd you post it?
What's that?
Why'd you post it?
I was happy I posted because I personally wanted to help him through my own personal Facebook. It wasn't a BLEXIT Facebook. That's my personal Facebook.
So you're the director of this chapter. You see BLEXIT tagged at the bottom here, and you don't say, hey, man, that we can't do that. If you want me to share it, I'll share it on my own personal page, but I'm not attaching BLEXIT to this.
Honestly, that just got by me. And then when I realized there's no but to it, it just got by me.
How did this get by you?
Because when it's sent to me by a bunch of people to share it, I just shared it. My state does.
Who runs the BLEXIT Facebook page? I'm curious.
We don't have a media guy right now. He's just starting out.
So even he saw the Log Cabin Group.
No, he wasn't even a director yet. He just got in. There is no one. How do I say this? Log Cabin Republicans or Lady MAGA, that event has nothing to do with BLEXIT. It has absolutely nothing to do with BLEXIT. Point blank. Point blank.
So are you going to make a statement to your core audience? Because there's a BLEXIT logo on it. You, as a director of BLEXIT, is sharing Lady MAGA all over your page.
Actually, Lady MAGA is one picture. That's not all.
No, there's a few. There's a few.
I won't. There's only if it's Lady MAGA's on my page, just Ryan himself. No, I'm not apologizing for anything.
So I'm not. I didn't say apologize, but you are appealing to an audience, and you are representing Candace and Brandon because this is their foundation at the end of the day.
Let me say something.
Sure.
My audiences know who I am.
Sure.
There's a reason why they are my audience. The people in this state, the people on my Facebook, they know who I am. And if they don't know who I am, then they shouldn't be on my Facebook page. I've got 5,000 followers and many more ways. Plenty of listeners waiting that listens to me. I don't apologize for anything. The BLEXIT issue, that was on my personal page. Yes,
that was on the state. It was on the Facebook too. I seen it.
Well, I didn't put it on the Facebook. I didn't share that one, so I don't know.
But you're the director, so that means that it falls under your jurisdiction, and
I am the director. Also, my state captures more members than any other state right now, and I live in an all-white state. So,
you know what? That's neither here or there. We're specifically talking about.
No. It actually is here because when you say BLEXIT is focuses it on mainly minorities. Well, in my state, that doesn't happen. We
So if
focus
I
on
went to the
membership.
BLEXIT website right now, they say we are trying to appeal to the white youth or the minority
No,
youth.
they said with emphasis on minority youth. It doesn't necessarily say black. It does not say black youth.
What does
That's
BLEXIT
not.
stand for?
Well, it meant blacks leaving the Democratic Party. But the problem with that in a white state, they say to you, wait a minute, this is for blacks. I'm white. So you don't get the memberships if you tell people, hey, yeah, we're only blacks and we don't deal with white people. Well, you won't have a membership in a white state. Same thing with Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, and all the other states that don't have blacks in it. When you're less than 1% of the population. Fact.
So let me get my thoughts together, because I'm reading BLEXIT right now. A better future for minority communities. BLEXIT Foundation is to change the narrative that surrounds American minority communities with a particular focus on African Americans. We believe there are 5 primary program areas in which BLEXIT Foundation must engage to accomplish its vision. So,
And
if this is what the founders are saying, what does the Log Cabin Group or Lady MAGA do to help that?
it's just an organization that promotes conservatism. They don't
But
promote
they don't.
lifestyle.
Do you know much about the Log Cabin Group?
I do, actually. Donald Trump actually endorsed him at Mar-a-Lago a few weeks ago, about a month or so ago. Yeah, Donald Trump did.
I don't care about Trump. Like, saying the name Trump means absolutely nothing to me. I'm not one of those conservatives. So the Log Cabin Group actually sued the government for Don't Ask, Don't Tell. They pushed for teachers to openly be gay in the classrooms in California. I mean, the list goes on.
You just said something. California.
I did.
Everything in California.
It doesn't matter. This is what they endorsed. Listen, if this group just led with what I began with, I have no problem with gays. I'm not homophobic. If you want to fight to conserve this country, which means our traditional values, I'm right on board with you. Come fight with me. But when you lead with your sexuality, we've got a problem. This group leads with their sexuality. Lady MAGA is dressing as drag in efforts to do what? What could you possibly help BLEXIT or conservatives with by doing that?
I think you're judging the entire Log
Never.
Cabin Group.
No. I'm judging their body of work.
You know what? How do I say this and be delicate?
You don't have to be delicate. I'm a tough cookie, man.
No, it's not. It's not necessarily attacking anyone. But what I'm simply going to say is, the reason why the Democrats have what they want and get what they want for the most part, because you don't have what we're doing right now.
So they don't have morals?
No, they don't have the infighting, the bickering, the division.
So they don't have morals?
Well, Democrats don't have morals, actually, but that's not what the Log Cabin Republicans.
No wonder they would accept this shit.
But whose morals are you talking about? Well, excuse me, they do accept
God.
But whose interpretation?
The Bible.
Whose interpretation? I could take an article. I could take any verse. God. Somebody sent me a verse, which could be from the Bible, which could have been applied to 500. I can't remember. I'm not on my Facebook. It could have been applied to 10 different scenarios.
That's an error of man. They lean to their own understanding. I don't do that.
Interpretation is an error of man. Is an error of man. Period.
So I'm going to read their issues. They want to promote legislation for protection for the LGBT people in a workplace, ensuring that no one can be fired on the basis of sexual orientation or gender. I'm going to need a statistic to prove that anywhere in the United States fires somebody because they're gay.
Well, let me ask you this: and do they have the right to fire us because we're black?
But it's 2021.
Isn't that protected?
That's moving the goalposts, and that's a total straw man argument.
No, it's not a straw man argument. Discrimination.
Yeah, it is, because it has nothing to do with what I'm asking.
But does one bigotry outweigh another?
It's not bigotry.
Anytime you discriminate or for any reason, is bigotry.
But that's not happening.
Racial discrimination. It's not racial discrimination. Well, if you tell these people if they can't go and work because they're gay and they're not protected because they're gay,
They have the same
don't tell
rights
me-
we do. What do you mean?
well, actually, we got the rights because we fought for it. See,
no. Listen, I'm American. Ain't we gonna do that black, white, crazy shit here. They have the same rights we all have as Americans.
Some
What
of them
rights
are
don't
black
they have?
and white as well.
What
Some of them are
rights
taking
don't
a
they
double
have?
whammy.
What rights don't they have?
We all have a right not to be discriminated against. We all have that right. We all have that right. Not just the blacks, whether you're Democrat or conservative, Republican, Libertarian, we all have the rights not to be discriminated against. Period. If you can't walk in a country, I mean, it's kind of like this because they're gay, they should have the right to be targeted. Now you can't work here because you're gay.
But where
That's
is that
discrimination.
happening?
Where is it happening? You tell
Where
me
is
it's
that
not
happening?
happening. But you tell
Where
me
is it happening?
You tell me that it's not happening, Sonny.
Where is it happening, sir? Like, tell me. You're talking about all these things that gay people are fighting. Where is that happening?
Oh, I know it's happening because I know somebody personally got
Where?
fired from the airlines because he was gay.
He got fired from. So when are they picking up the lawsuit?
He's in a lawsuit. They're already in a lawsuit right now.
Wow.
See,
How much do you know
because it doesn't
about
happen,
the log cabin
here's
group?
the thing, because it doesn't happen in your world doesn't mean it doesn't happen in this world.
Look, if somebody told me they fired me because I'm black, you know what I'm going to say? Where's your proof, God damn it? And if you can't produce proof other than what you made up in your head, I don't want to hear it.
To a point, I agree with you. Up to a large point, I agree with you. I completely agree with you on that one.
So did they say we're firing you because you're gay?
They said he was too outspoken in his lifestyle.
So pretty much he was bringing unnecessary attention by being flamboyantly gay and dressing as a woman for some odd reason.
Actually, if you're on Facebook and you're not on a clock and you don't live in a right to work state, it is discrimination. Only in a right to work state where they can come at you when you're off the clock.
So do you endorse the log cabin group? Like, are you, based on what I just showed you?
I actually don't endorse any group.
Oh, so you don't endorse it. Does BLEXIT endorse it?
Working with somebody doesn't mean you endorse them.
So you're working with the log cabin group.
Hell, if I could change a Ku Klux Klan into conservatives, I'll work with them.
Are you working with the log cabin group as BLEXIT?
Nope.
No. So they just slapped the logo on there just for the hell of it. And tag BLEXIT as well, just for the hell of it.
Listen, you're trying to be insightful because I just told you, Sonny. I just told you what happened. I just told you that Ryan put that up together with himself, thinking that we were.
Why? Who did he get permission from?
He thought he didn't get permission. That's why we took it down. He didn't get permission. That's why it's taken down. Look, I don't know where you guys get your Utah facts from, but you don't know the whole story.
I get my Utah facts from people in Utah.
James doesn't matter.
I'm not. How do you know I'm talking about James?
Trust me.
It has nothing to do with James. And we're not going to talk about James because James is a friend.
We definitely won't talk about James because
it has nothing to do with James.
Actually, a lot of it does.
No, it's okay though.
I know firsthand. Remember,
I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in talking about the log cabin group and Lady MAGA.
Well, Log Cabin Group is their own organization. They are not BLEXIT. I can't speak for Log Cabin, nor will I speak for the Log Cabin Group. We don't endorse them. We haven't done any events with them. Have they gone to an event that we've been at? Sure. We don't tell people you can't come in. I don't check and say, wait a minute, are you gay? Well, you can't come in. Are you Log Cabin? Or you can't come in. Hey, are you the Ku Klux Klan? You can't come in. Hey, are you Nazis? You can't come in. That's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
So you didn't know they were the log cabin group. You just said, yeah.
I do know they're the log cabin. What about them? I just told you I know who they are. What are you talking about? They go to events. We have events here. They have their own.
Did you have an event with the log cabin group? Yes or no?
Okay, this is the last time I asked this question. The answer is no.
You didn't. Is that your final answer?
No. The answer is no.
Okay. We're going to listen. We're going to take this at your word. I mean, I know the truth, but you're saying no.
I promise you don't. I promise you don't.
Why don't I? What
Because,
makes you
well,
think I don't know?
trust me. Name of if you know what event did we sponsor with the log cabin that BLEXIT? None. Not one. Not one. So wherever you got your information from, it's straight. It's like everything else, fake news.
When is it coming down off the Facebook? That's all I want to know.
It's off our Facebook. It's been changed.
Are you?
As far as I know.
I'm gonna go to the Facebook right now, man.
Go. I don't see the thing with me.
It's still there.
Okay, then it's still there. Okay.
So why has it not been removed?
Because I don't know why the media guy. Because I don't have a media guy anymore. And
Who
if it's
runs
on my
the
personal
Facebook?
Facebook, if it's on my personal Facebook, it's on my personal Facebook. I don't monitor it. I don't care. I don't check it out.
You don't care. So the state director of BLEXIT, just said he does not care.
And what's your point?
The log cabin group, which is directly against what we stand for as conservatives.
It's not about you and we.
That's cool. I don't want to mute you, but I do want to finish my sentence. You literally just said on this show that you don't care that this is up there. You don't care that you are alienating your core audience. You don't care that BLEXIT is associated with this when BLEXIT is for educating the Black youth and freeing Black people from the Democrat plantation. You don't care.
Well, when you learn what a 501c3 is all about.
This has nothing to do with the 501c, sir. This has everything to do with you.
To you, it doesn't. But to us in that corporate, it does. So what you feel personally doesn't matter to us legally. See,
what the hell does this have to do with anything legal?
Well, if you haven't heard what I've been saying tonight, you won't figure. We don't discriminate. Let's put it that way. Telling somebody no is not discrimination.
We do not discriminate.
Well, then
telling somebody no is not discrimination.
Why would I?
Because they don't. Because BLEXIT is BLEXIT. It has nothing to do with being gay.
Do you know? Okay, when you get a chance, talk to James and get a copy of get our bylaws.
I already read it. I'm very intelligent.
Look what it says. So am I. Look what it says under discrimination.
You're asking me why. I'm telling you why.
No, I'm not.
This has nothing to do with being gay. What the hell can the Log Cabin Group's alliance do for BLEXIT besides bring a bunch of gay people?
Oh, it could bring about a discrimination lawsuit as well because okay, one more time. And your audience will probably figure this out. If I cannot discriminate under a 501c3 because it will put our chapter and our nonprofit status in a compromising position, that's what we don't do. That's why we're nonpartisan. That's why you may think it's funny. You talk to the higher ups. They chose the 501c3.
I mean, listen, I've talked to Brandon on multiple occasions. I've had conversations with Candace.
What was his last live?
Okay. What do you mean? What was his last live? The live that I did with him or the live he did on his own? Which one?
The one he did on his own.
I didn't watch that, so enlighten me.
Maybe you should. No, just go look it up.
For what?
We have a 501c3. We have particular guidelines we have to follow.
Uh-huh.
Whether I want to do it or not, I still have to do what's
so you can't say no to the gay mafia because you're afraid. So that's all I'm hearing. Because telling somebody, hey, no, we're not interested in working with you. Who the hell says it's because you're gay? Who says that? Nobody. It's just simply, you know what? No, we're not interested.
You can't even tell the Democrat Party, I can't don't want to work with you. I can't tell a liberal organization, I can't work with you because you're a liberal. I cannot do that.
You keep saying because you're a liberal. I'm simply saying,
I'm not.
Why can't you not? Like, what's the problem with leaving BLEXIT as it is, man? It's disrespectful to Black people to even associate this bullshit with it. It really is.
Because it's not about personal. How do I say it? It's about doing things for the community.
It's about doing things for the community.
We've done a lot of things. We do service for our community. We've done a lot of stuff for the community. A lot of stuff for our community. And yes, sometimes we'll run into a situation where somebody will have a great, how do I want to put it? An idea for the cause. And if it's a good cause, like what we're doing right now, and it's for the kids, and it doesn't put BLEXIT at jeopardy, that's what we do.
So would you work with Antifa? Would you work with the KKK?
I would personally say no.
Oh,
but
BLEXIT wouldn't say no. Is that what you're telling me?
What you hear was you don't listen. You really
would BLEXIT say no?
I'm hoping they would say no. I don't know what they're going to say. What the
Isn't
lawyers
that discrimination? Why are you discriminating?
I just told you personally, I wouldn't want to. But if I have to use a chapter and the cause was altruistic, possibly I would think about it. Possibly would think about it.
Oh my God, you are entertaining. You really are.
That's like working with the Democrat Party. I can't tell them no either. I don't care much for them either. Hey. But I can't tell them no. But I can't endorse the Democrat Party.
Brandon and Candace,
call me up.
For real.
Pierre, call me up. They know my position.
So would you work with pedophiles?
Oh, hell no.
No, you wouldn't. So would BLEXIT work with pedophiles?
Hell no.
No. So they can say no to that and discriminate against pedophiles, but you can't discriminate against the gay mafia.
Me personally won't have anything to do with it. Won't have anything to do with it. Won't even have a damn thing to do with it.
I'm talking about BLEXIT, man.
Yeah, I'll be done. I mean, would have to step down if I had to work with pedophiles. Truth me, I draw the line. But something that I can deal with, and that would help the kids. See, this is the thing. People sometimes got to put issues aside. People may not like me because I'm black, but if they have a good cause, they say, "Hey, John, look, you're BLEXIT. Let's get together and help out the kids. Let's feed the homeless. Let's teach entrepreneurship." See, you could be gay, you could be black, you could be white, you could be green, but people still can learn from you. That's what it's all about, learning. If the best college professional is coming, if you wanted to be an entrepreneur in a field that the professor was absolutely straight flaming gay, but you know that man or that woman can teach you some of the best things you could ever learn on this planet, would you discriminate against them? Is this knowledge not important to you?
No. I would say no. It's not discrimination. It's because I don't want to learn from you. No.
Well, but here's the question. When you went to college or when you're in the military and you had a boss and he was gay and you didn't know it, granted, you're going to say, well, I didn't know he was gay. But if you did know he was gay, you wouldn't work for him?
What does working for somebody have to do with learning from somebody?
Well, the point is simply this. If somebody's gay who has something that you want, a good paying job, a better education, seek knowledge, because we all know knowledge, you say, feed your mind, your pocket will grow.
So you want to know why we're saying no to the log cabin group? I'm going to pull this up. Okay. And you tell me what you think about this.
I don't think about it because it's not my organization.
What? You're the director, sir.
I am the director.
Okay. So listen, this is what the log cabin group represents, right? The log cabin group is saying that this bill is misguided, okay? Now, me personally, I don't really give a shit about the bathroom talk, but the fact that they are going against this when it would alert the public to know what the hell they're getting themselves into is crazy. So I'm going to read it. This bill would publicly identify private businesses that make accommodations for transgender people, right? The log cabin group believes that this bill is misguided. You want to know why? Oh, because it'll put the transgender in danger of possible retaliation, bigotry, and being assaulted. So once again, this group is going against the better judgment of half of this country, simply saying, I don't want to use the bathroom with the transgender. That's discrimination?
Them not wanting to use the bathroom with a transgender. I don't want to use the bathroom with a transgender.
Are you discriminating?
No, because a transgender, well, let me back up. If it's a male, okay, it's a male. But it's a female in a male's bathroom, I'm not cool with that. That's a
So are
morality
you
issue because it's a
discriminating?
female.
Oh,
No.
so morality comes back into play
Well,
when it
no,
has to
because
do with
a
the
female is
bathroom.
okay. You're trying to use some confusion here, but it's not going to work because simple as
No,
this.
I'm
A
literally
man
holding
is
you
a man.
accountable. What you
A
said.
man. Now, here's the thing: you guys keep talking about Lady MAGA, which is I find really interesting.
Let's stick to this subject. We're talking
Well,
about
actually, it
transgenders.
does.
Lady Mag is not trans, so let's stick
Exactly,
to this
but
one.
he's against it. But he's against
I
it.
don't care. I'm talking about this.
Well, it only matters to you when you're trying to prove a point that
Lady Maga dresses like a woman. He is definitely into
that doesn't make
transgenderism, but
that
we,
is
we
not
won't go there.
that is not a transgender.
Because you don't want to go to the bathroom with a transgender, are you discriminating?
If it's a female, no. If it's a dude, I don't care. It's a dude with makeup on. I don't care. If it's that, does that make your point?
You won't answer my question because you know the
Excuse
answer.
me. I just answered your question. What do you mean I won't answer the question?
You didn't.
I just
You said
said
if it's a
if it's
dude,
a female,
no.
if it's a dude, it's a dude. Why am I gonna have a problem with them going in the bathroom? It's a dude.
We're
I don't
talking
care how much
about
makeup we put on.
transgender. So
But
let's
if
stick
it's
to
a
the term
female, okay,
transgender.
if it's a female who's transitioning into a male, yes, I would have a problem because it's a female. And most people get that. Snickle and giggle all you want. Most people get that.
I don't get that. I don't want to go to the bathroom with any tranny. It's a bathroom.
That's your choice. That's the beautiful thing about it.
And you know
That's
what?
your choice.
You are absolutely right. Just like it is our choice. You called us bigots and everything else in the episode that you air. It is our choice.
I didn't call you racist. I didn't call you racist. I called you.
You called us a bigot.
Exactly. I didn't call you. No, I'm saying that for a reason. Bigots.
What does racism have to do with bigotry? Like you are trying to move the damn goalposts all over the place, and we're sticking to the fact that you called us bigots.
I did call you bigots.
For simply practicing what we call the First Amendment, which is what? The freedom of speech. I have every right.
But it only applies to you, though. It seems
that
like.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. Because you know who else it applies to? Every founding father that wrote the damn Constitution.
But you're not speaking about the founding father. You're talking about.
Yes, I am. I read you a quote from John Adams who says who the Constitution applies to.
And I've said it again before, and I've said it many a times about the Constitution and the founders. They're all, and I'm a conservative. I'm actually called a modern conservative because I truly believe simply this. They wrote the Constitution, but yet they're talking about the Bible. But I wouldn't say every single one of them, but a lot of them had slaves.
So what? It was a form of cheap labor and it was legal.
So why is it okay? Why is it okay now for slavery to be cool in this conversation?
Slavery is not cool, but it was a form of cheap labor. So you're not accomplishing anything by bringing that up because back then it was legal. Because
what you've just done alerted to people, no matter what, the word slavery in itself, no matter what the reason is, if I want to go hire a bunch of, for example, another race, if I should be able to do it because I want cheap labor, it's supposed to be okay.
Slavery has been around since the existence of man, bro. Like what slavery was in the Bible. Can we move on to another topic? It's in the Bible. John Adams, and I quote, said our Constitution is made only for moral and religious people. So you're calling John Adams a bigot? You're calling the founding fathers bigots?
Sure.
You're calling
sure. They're not, excuse me, because they write something, they're excluded. What makes them excluded?
I can't believe that you're saying these things right now. Like, I can't tell if you're trolling me or you're serious.
They allowed slavery to happen.
They allowed it?
They allowed it. It did not end until 1863, well after John Adams, well after George Washington, well after Hamilton, well after Franklin. They did not take and change slavery until the Republican Party had done in 1863. So I don't know what you want to, how you want to glorify slavery right now because there was cheap labor. Shit, that's ridiculous.
I'm too smart for that. And never once did I glorify slavery using buzzwords. What I said was it was legal and it was a form of cheap labor, which is a fact.
I asked you this: does that make it okay?
It's a fact. And what did I say?
Whether it's a fact or not, does it make?
What did
I
say? What did I say?
Anything? Your retort was it was
I said
cheap labor.
No. but it was cheap labor. So we all know it wasn't okay,
Listen,
but it was a
saying
form of
anything you
cheap
say before
labor.
but didn't matter. Was it
I didn't say but.
But yes, you just said that just now. You said,
No, I
but it was
didn't.
cheap labor. Okay, I'm not going to argue with you because the simple fact is,
Look, Lady Maga, you can bring your ass on this live and get this motherfucking work too. He ain't gonna call me no damn ingrate because I don't want to accept your weird behaviors of dressing as a woman. I'm sorry.
that conversation is between you and him.
You can never defend my religious freedoms because you don't believe in it. No, why you don't believe in it? Because the fact that we tell you I'm not interested and you call us bigots, you don't give a shit about my religious freedom, because if you did, you would have an understanding. You know what? This is what they believe. I'm going to respect that. That would be fighting for someone's religious freedom, but you're not doing that.
Let me ask you something.
Sure.
Why do we need to have this kind of vitriol conversation about this stuff? Why can't we just do vitriol? It's, I mean, the thing is, one of my whole problem with my podcast, well, not problem podcast, but I was trying to, or wanted people to stop the nonsense. We're losing a battle in this country. We're losing a battle in this country. Whether you can, no matter what form of conservative you are, we're losing a battle. In order to gain what we are trying to gain in this country, we have to stop. Look, none of us are perfect. None of us. But at the end of the day, we need to take some things and set it aside just for the moment and make things happen in a positive way. Because you know what? We're all doing is destroying our movement. As long as we keep dividing ourselves, we'll never gain the power we're asking for.
Can you get him the link? Because I would love to have discourse with you. You have the link? Yeah. He is more than welcome to come on this platform. I'm not a bigot. I just have morals, and I stand on my morals. That's my foundation.
Morals, and probably I have morals as well. And one of my moral standings is I do not hate people or dislike.
Who says we hate them? I'll wait.
I wouldn't use the word hate. You have an animosity towards the lifestyle.
An animosity, or I just don't agree?
Whether you agree or animosity, you don't agree either way. Animosity, agree. You don't like their lifestyle. Look, it's not necessarily a lifestyle for me.
Come on, man. I appreciate it. Come on. This is what happens when conversations are had and we hold people accountable. I am a member of BLEXIT. I was not pleased with what I saw. So everybody else who spoke on it had every right to challenge you, the director, as to why we are trying to form or do any events or whatever the hell is going on with a group that is directly against what we believe in. I just read to you on their website what they are for. I just read to you a bill that they were against. Why can't we have notification if we are going to be in a bathroom with a transgender person? That is my right as an American to choose whether I want to go in there with you or not. If that makes me a bigot because I don't want to go to the bathroom with your weird ass, then cool. But it's my right to say no. And I'm not infringing upon yours.
No, you're absolutely right. It is your right. That is just like it's his right to be who he is. I'm not going to chastise you for being who you are, but what I dislike is when people go out and they start attacking people because I haven't attacked. No, well, I haven't attacked you about being who you are, but I did say if you do not like somebody because their race, color, or their identity, preferably male or female, because I too believe there's only two sex. I believe in a lot of things that you believe in. The only difference between you and I is I believe, you know what, God, they answer to God. I've got work to do on this planet. On this earth, I have work to do today. I've got work to do for kids, the homeless, entrepreneurship. That's the work I want to do. I don't want to get distracted by stuff like this because it's about my community. And so happens in my community, there are going to be gay people. There are going to be gay black people, gay white people. There are going to be gay people in my community. That's just a cold, hard fact in this country. And at some point in time, you have to say, you know what? I'll pray for you and God will do what he needs to do.
Okay, well, while we're waiting for Lady Maga,
Is he
you
coming
talk
home?
about vitriol, and thank you for sending it to him. I appreciate it. And having a visceral response or just a mean, cantankerous response. And like, listen, I told you off camera, I actually enjoyed it. I have no problem with what you said, but am I going to approach you one-on-one and tell you what it is? Absolutely. Do I still have respect for you? Yes, you're a human. Do I have respect for Lady Maga? You're a human. Do I agree? No.
Exactly.
But you're coming at me for being Bryson and everybody else who stood up against that post, and you're calling us bigots and everything else, while we're literally standing for what we believe in. And two, we are the future generation that will stand up for this country. And it's just it's mind blowing. But I'm
But you
gonna
got to
play
remember,
it.
it's not
Go
just
ahead.
we. It's not just us. The gays and the homosexual and all the other ones that are of the alphabets, they live in this country as well. So what? We make a country that's catered just to us solely?
No, but that doesn't mean just because I say I don't agree doesn't mean that I'm trying to take your rights away. I don't agree. They don't have no rights have ever been taken away from them. They have the same rights that I have as a woman and that you have as a man. Black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They have the same fucking rights. The only thing that these people are fighting against is the fact that we don't agree with their lifestyle and I don't want to be associated with it, which I feel I have every right to
And
say. I
that is
don't want to be
absolutely your right.
associated with it.
That is absolutely 100% your right. I completely 100% agree with you. Now, let me say something. Let me get some clarification. When I'm on my podcast, I'm not the director. I don't speak as the director of BLEXIT. They told us that you can have your own, because I already had my own brand prior being in, and everybody knew how I felt. And that's when I told you when I first came on, when they said I can't say Democrat or you can't say Republicans, I was kind of thrown back by that because we're nonpartisan. So, and I will say this, it took a minute for me to get my head straight because I know what I think and what I believe, but because of my 501, the 501(c), I am a restraint from doing or not doing things that me as a conservative, BLEXIT has made me a little bit more open-minded, to be honest with you. As I've gotten in this thing and met certain people, I've become a lot more open-minded. I used to be a staunch conservative, staunch, probably far right. But I've reeled it in now, and I start thinking about other people.
Who has restricted anybody's rights? If I had a job, listen, if I owned a company and I say, I'm not hiring any black people, that is my right to say, I'm not hiring you. You can scream discrimination all you want, but you know what? You can also go to another job and probably do the same thing you would be doing at my job. But because I have what's called individual freedoms to say no, I don't have to tell you why I said no. But if I said no, that's not restricting somebody's rights. No means no. That's what my mama told me when I was growing up. This ain't Burger King. You can't have it your way. That ain't how it works.
Let me remind you of the cake maker story
Thank you.
in Colorado. The cake
Absolutely
maker story.
disgusting.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah, and that's disgusting what they did to them
And
for literally saying no.
Exactly. See, this is the thing that would go. That supposedly is what keep businesses in check for discriminating. The Supreme Court says if you have a public business, your doors is open to everybody because you're public and you can't discriminate. That's kind of how we have to do in the 501(c)(3). That's the risk we run when we start using what Democrats call identity as a reference to either not working with somebody or, not getting involved with them. I mean, you can't say, look, well, we don't work with you guys because you're gay. See, that's the dynamics of the laws. We just didn't start a chapter and just made up our own rules. There are laws we have to go by. There are laws we have to go by.
So
So,
look,
and
I have
some people don't
no
understand that.
problem with BLEXIT. I'm actually really cool with B Tatum. Me and Candace know of each other. I have a great amount of respect for them because they opened the doorway for me. This has nothing to do with BLEXIT. This has everything to do with forming an alliance, doing events with groups that participate in identity politics. Because if you go to their website, if you pay attention to Richard Gunnell, the first thing he says is, "I'm gay." And you know what I say? I don't give a damn. Be an American. Nobody gives a shit that you're gay. But when you keep throwing it in my face, you're absolutely right. I'm going to comment. I'm going to play this video while we're waiting on Lady Maga. I don't know what's taking so long, but hurry it
I think
up,
he
bro.
said did he say Tuesday?
Tuesday what?
I thought he said
I'm not
like
on
next
his
Tuesday.
time.
Yeah, so I don't know what's going on.
Y'all hold up because I got something to say. Sure. TikTok. I got other places to be.
So do I.
Movement. When you're prejudiced and discriminate somebody else, man, woman, for whatever reason, you are a bigot. Look up what bigot means. You are a bigot. You think because you're talking about religion, you're exempt from the bigot category. Wrong, 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 wrong. And I don't know, how do you think you're going to grow the conservative movement by being what we're supposed to be against? African Americans. Now I'm talking to you. I'm coming at you. Listen to me and listen to me clearly. You of all people should know it is not cool to be discriminated against. 250 years, you're still talking about the shit. But a lot of these conservative African Americans think they can discriminate because of religion. For some reason now, we think we have the almighty power to call somebody sinful, evil. I know what the Bible says, but this is not the place to have the talk. Conservatism is not the place to have the talk. So my question is this to you. In the black community, you go in prison for murder, 2 murders. You get out 35, 40 years later. You get out and you become a conservative. Is that individual still
Nothing I've said is bigotry.
What happened?
Nothing Bryson said is bigotry. Expressing your opinion based on what is biblically in the Bible is not bigotry. And if that's the case, then you are calling God a bigot. All we are doing as young conservatives, young black conservatives, is standing for what we believe in. And we don't believe in homosexuality. Like I said before, I have no problems with gay people. I am friends with gay people. I have gay people in my family. As long as you are not leading with the fact that you are gay and you're fighting to preserve traditional values, which includes the Constitution, which was inspired from Judeo-Christian values, I have no problem with you.
I agree with you. Now, it's funny that you say that. I know a lot of conservatives who think just like you do. Black, white, whatever, doesn't matter the color. They think like that because they don't like the first thing they learn with some people that are in that community. They don't like the fact is like they come across, first of all, say, "Hey, I'm gay," when most of them really don't care. Just do your work as an American and let's do the damn thing. So I understand where you're coming from there. I've heard that before, and I've also, and like I said, I do understand that. Now, I'm not oblivious to all things. I'm not. And I do know why a lot of people think the way they do. But to me, I have a saying in my life: big things to a midget, or small things to a giant. Right now, I want to win the battle. Excuse me. I want to win the war. I don't want to have battles between my own people, blacks, white. And that means just American conservatives. I don't care what color. American conservatives. I just want to win the war. And if I have to have a man beside me that believes in what I believe in to fight this war, even though his lifestyle is completely different from mine, I'll take that over a Democrat who I know is trying to destroy my life. Why we don't have a way of working together and promoting what we believe in and the conservative value.
There is no password. So while you're talking about the password, bro, click the damn link and get on here. He got on here just fine. Was there a password?
No.
No, you click the link and you pop up. It's that simple. So stop the cap before I kick you out of this live. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, so a lot of the stuff that, like, for example, when I did my podcast, I didn't mention anybody's name. Now,
we know
Bryson,
when
he came, yeah, but the thing is, when we're speaking, Bryson only wrote maybe something like 8 letters, and I replied with my comment, and that was it. I didn't entertain the conversation.
But what does
anymore.
he say?
And that was basically
bigotry.
What's that?
What he didn't say anything that's bigotry.
Well, there was some other stuff down in the threads that I was reading, but I didn't participate other than what I initially wrote in my own post. Truthfully, it wasn't necessary Bryson. There was other people in that thread for and against. So I was speaking out in general what I believe as a conservative, that we've got a war to win. We have a hell of a war to win, and it's not going to go anywhere.
And we can't win that unless we take on the gays.
No, we can't. We can win it and let everybody just fight the same battle. We can win it. Everybody fight the same battle. We got 2022 coming up. I've lost a lot of money in the last year because of the Democratic Party. A lot of money. And I'm done. I'm done subjecting myself to the division of the conservative community. Look, we have a strong community right now. The best thing Joe Biden has done this year is created more Republicans.
Let me ask you a question. What the hell did you think it was going to do when you called us bigots and said, remove the Bible, remove God? What did you think that was going to do? Did you think we were going to say, oh, okay, honestly, let's work together?
But here's the thing. Honestly, I was hoping. Well, one of the things I hope people say, you know what? Maybe he's right. Maybe we should try to, put our personal choices beside for the bigger cause. Because sometimes we think our personality is bigger than the cause. Sometimes we believe that. In actuality, I believe sometimes we have to take our egos and set it aside. We've heard it so many times in so many other avenues of our life. Put your ego aside. This is one of those times I think, hey, look, let's just do what we got to do. How you doing, Ryan? Let's do what we got to do and just win the damn war. Is that so hard to ask as conservative? Let's win the war first. Let's not shoot ourselves in the foot. It just saddens me. It really saddens me when I hear. It really bothers me when.
So you heard me say several times, I don't care if you're gay. I care if you are running around acting like a weirdo, bro. That's what I care about. And I don't want you fighting next to me because you're a distraction. Get away from me. I know plenty of gay people and they don't live by their sexuality. They live by being called an American. Period.
Am I on here or no?
Yes,
you are, but I'm going to finish what I was saying before I introduce you.
Absolutely. I support your speech. I would never want you silenced. Please keep speaking. Suni, the middle child. Where are you? Are you in? What state are you in?
I'm overseas. I'm a military spouse.
Oh, well, God bless you. Okay. I'm not going to interrupt you because your voice is just as critical as my voice.
That was it. I I don't like that people keep trying to say, well, why don't you want to work with gay people? Well, we don't have a problem with working with gay people. We have a problem with people shoving their shit down our throat. If you want to fight for America, then fight for America. Who gives a damn if you're a gay, lesbian, bi, they, them, whatever the fuck you feel like today? Who cares?
So let
Who
me ask you this.
cares?
So let me ask you, let me say something, because I'm gonna have to get off shortly too, because my little girl's got homework to do. So your whole problem is that when they come out and say, hey, I'm gay and my name is Ryan, or the drag queens, that's your issue. Is that it? Not necessarily the lifestyle, but it's the way that they
I wear a wig and a costume, and she doesn't like that. And we can talk about.
Do I agree with the lifestyle? No, I don't agree with that at all. I can't change your lifestyle. What you do in the privacy of your bedroom is what you do. Just like I don't run around and openly frolic and say what I do in my bedroom. Hey, I'm straight. I'm a straight conservative. Who gives a shit, bro?
Neither do I.
But you do though, because you walk around dressed as a woman.
That has nothing to do with bedroom behaviors. Nothing.
No? Then what does it have to do with?
Theatricality, trying to wake
to do what?
Up, draw attention to the conservative movement.
And we need you to dress as a woman to draw attention to us.
Well, here's why. I get message after message from conservatives who say, my brother or my teenage kid is dressing up and they think they're transgender. And they message me and I tell them, your family member does not have to take hormones. They don't have to cut off their genitalia. They might be a little different. So, Suni, I want you to know I've literally saved the lives of people who feel like they need to do transgender procedures, and they stopped. And there's a big difference
by doing what? Dressing as a woman?
Well, if you're okay, so let's say there's a 17-year-old who says, I'm transgender, and their conservative Christian parent says, I don't want you taking hormones. I don't want you altering your body. And they have a conversation with me, and I say, let's protect people and promote. If they got to be a little different, that's okay. But in the LGBTQIA plus movement right now, it is predatorily going after young people and telling them that you have to take hormones. You're a 9-year-old kid and we're going to inject you with hormones. We're going to prevent your natural adolescence. And it's terrifying because I could have been one of those kids. If I had been born today to woke parents, they would have told me that you're different. You like girl things. We're going to alter your body for the rest of your life. And that's incredibly dangerous. So in spite of what people think, I have saved lives and I stand up against LGBTQIA plus radicalism. And Suni, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
Have you listened to one episode of my podcast?
Absolutely not.
Right there. You don't even know.
What does that have to do with, first of all, you.
So you're judging me.
You are literally dressing as a woman and saying you're doing a service to people because you dress as a woman and people contact you because you dress like a woman. You couldn't possibly just be yourself and give people information that way. Like, no, you have to do the most attention drawing, most flamboyant, most dysfunctional shit ever. And then when people say, bro, that's weird. Oh, you're judging me. No. I'm giving my honest opinion.
Go find where I complained about people judging me. I am a free speech.
Bro, you were in the live. I looked at your comments.
I'm in the live saying I got a lot of stuff to say. But I've gone up against Nick Fuentes. I've argued with Bryson Gray. And the first thing I always say is I support your free speech to the limit. Absolutely. I don't want
to the limit. What limit?
That means all speech must be protected. And that includes the people who hate me and tell me I'm going to hell. Because if I don't protect their free speech and I don't support your platform, then I'm a hypocrite and I don't believe in my own free speech. So I'm not against you. You are not my enemy. I love your shirt. I'm glad you have the American flag there. And we are at a critical point in our country where we have three fundamental things that we have to save in order to be able to continue to argue about anything else.
And
that
why
is
can't you do that dressed as a man?
because I chose to enter this movement as somebody who tries to awaken the people on the left.
So you awaken them by dressing as a woman.
Well, you know what? Do you have a problem with Halloween?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, so if somebody dresses up as Spider-Man or Frankenstein or a unicorn or...
No, because that's kids taking on a character, not another gender.
What about adults? What about cosplay? Do you have a problem with cosplay conventions?
Are they dressing as another gender?
A lot of them are, yeah.
They are?
So,
I mean, there's a cosplayer I'm really cool with. He doesn't
older
dress as another gender.
I'm guessing I'm a little older than you, but do you know what Powder Puff was?
I'm 31. Yes, I do know what Powder Puff is.
Right. So the girls play the football, the boys
But
wear
they're dressed as women. And
Right.
then and you know what? And the boys that dress as cheerleaders, they're gross too.
Well, you know, I feel like if you and you have not listened to my podcast, have you personally gone to your state legislature and stood up for women's sports and children's right to not be injected with hormones and have procedures? Because I have.
I'm a woman. I stand up for the right to be a woman every day when I speak out against transgenderism and men dressing like women.
Absolutely. But I'm asking you, have you gone to your state legislature?
I don't have to go to my state legislator. My voice reaches millions.
Well,
so what's your point? And I live in another country, so you asking me that is completely just it's left field. What are you talking about?
9 years. I've lived in France. I've lived in Ecuador.
Great. So did you go to that legislation? No, you didn't. You lived in another country.
So your voice on YouTube right here is more important than advocating for actual legislation.
My voice is more important than you dressing as a woman. Absolutely.
Okay, is that my message though? You have not listened.
That's what your outward appearance is, which overshadows your message.
Oh, okay. So because I wear a wig and a costume, I do not have an important message to share. It negates.
I don't listen to your message because of how you dress. I'm literally telling you how you display yourself and how you present yourself overshadows your message.
Okay, well, am I dressed in drag right now?
No, but what does that have to do with you asking about your message?
It has to do with telling you that I am an American patriot. And
good. I never said you were.
And well, good. I'm glad because you're not my enemy. You know who my enemy is? It's the LGBTQIA plus people out there trying to push transgender surgeries on kids, trying to force their way and their viewpoints on other people.
I do that too.
I don't force anybody.
No. I said I do that too. That's what Bryson does. That's what I do. That's what Candace does. That's what Tatum does. We all do it.
Yeah, I love how you associate yourself with Candace, even though she has a gay producer of her podcast.
And I have a gay friend. I have gay family members. What the fuck is your point?
There you go. So you'll accept them.
You know why? Because they don't constantly push in my face that they're gay. They're still themselves. Okay. They don't dress up as women. Right. They're themselves.
All right. Well, first of all, I never said that I dress up as a woman. I dress up as a character.
You dress up as a woman.
I don't know any women who dress with 3 wigs on. And
you dress as a woman. Why are you trying to play games like I'm an idiot?
Okay. I'm not a woman. I'm not.
I know that. I said you dress as a woman.
Right. But you know what? Me dressing up in that costume as that character, it may be a female character, but I've never once claimed to be a woman. And I don't expect anybody to.
Nobody said that here.
A woman or what's that?
Nobody said that here.
Well, you just said that I dress up as a woman, and I said
that. Do 1 + 1 = 2, bruh. You dress as a woman.
No, dressing.
What is this? What is that? What is that? What are you wearing?
It's a costume.
You're wearing a bikini. It's a costume. You have a wig on. You have boobs there. That is a woman.
Well,
period.
I will be honest with you. That's when I very first started, and I was trying.
I don't care. You're dressing as a woman.
Well, I was trying to be more like Blair White, and I thought,
so you wanted to be like a transgender, like trying to be like a woman.
Okay, well, I want you guys to talk. I want you to ask me questions, and I'll try to respond because I'm not here to attack you. Bryson is a hero within the conservative movement.
Then why'd you attack him and try to get him canceled?
No. You have not ever listened.
Bryson is my friend, bro. We have already had this conversation.
Yeah, well, go find me where I said I want him canceled.
I'm gonna let Bryson talk. Go ahead, man. Thanks for coming on, John. By the way, all respect, man. All respect.
Tell me where I requested that you be canceled. We may disagree, but every time I talk about you, I defend your right. Yeah. And I want your songs to be popular. I want your voice to be loud.
So here goes the issue, right? You claim you fight against the LGBT. You can't because you're the embodiment. You're the embodiment of it, meaning you walk around dressed like a woman. If I knew you were at a conservative event and I had children, they would not go to that conservative event if I knew you were there, because I don't want my kids being exposed to that. In the same way you're talking about people have messaged you saying they didn't get on hormone pills because of you. See, I take it a step further. I don't want my kids growing up thinking it's okay to dress like a woman. And secondly, about the cancellation thing, this is very interesting because
I do not want you canceled.
Yeah,
I'm a free speech absolutist. I want your message to go far and wide because you're a patriot and you support the Second Amendment. And without the Second Amendment, none of us are going to make it through the communism that is coming in our country. None of us.
I want to ask you a question, and I just want to see how honest you are on this show. Is it true or is it not true that behind the scenes, the LGBT Trump supporters were passing around my lyrics, talking about me, and sending messages to organizations trying to get them to not work with me? Is that true or is that not true?
Literally, Bryson, it wasn't me. If other people did that, I'm disappointed in them. But I never did that. Every single time your name gets brought up, I say, he and I do not see eye to eye on all this stuff, but I'm a free speech. You guys, I did a debate with the Westboro Baptist Church, and their website says godhatesfags.com. And the whole time I said, you guys, I support your free speech, because if I try to cancel you or I try to cancel Bryson or anybody else, then I'm defeating the whole message of free speech for all.
Bro, I understand this image you're trying to put across, but you have literally compared me to an African dictator. I don't understand where all of this, I love you guys. I don't want to attack you. You're not my enemy. Bro, let's stop that act real quick. Let's come back to reality.
It's not an act. If I compared you to an African dictator, it's because I believe that if you got in a position of power in government, I would not be allowed to dress up and do what I do. True or false?
Were you or were you not trying to attack me on Twitter on multiple occasions? I'm just saying, let's stop this happy-go-lucky act like everybody is fine. Like, I'm not your enemy. You love me. You think I'm a hero. Like, let's stop that. I've noticed you've adopted that lately, as of late. But yeah. I remember. You remember we met in Houston, right?
Yeah, and I told you that I support you and I believe in you. It's not an act. It's true. I support everyone who joins this movement, who stands up for free speech, our Constitution, and our Second Amendment. Because without those things, you and I cannot even have this conversation. And I literally stuck up for the Westboro Baptist Church. Their website says godhatesfags.com. And I said, you know what? Go for it. We're going to disagree. But if I try to silence anybody, I'm a hypocrite, because I want free speech for all. And in the marketplace of ideas, you and I can argue and we can have our disagreements, and I can call you a dictator, because my personal belief is that if you were in charge of the government, you would make it illegal for me to be me and do what I do.
Yes, it would be illegal to dress up as a woman, because that is disgusting. But not only that,
well, that's an oligarchy. So you don't believe in fundamental freedom to wear what you want and do what you want, as long as you're not hurting anybody else.
So I see you're gonna keep up with this act. So let me just continue on with you, since
it's not an act. It's not an act.
Okay, so
silence. You want me stopped? I don't care what you say or what.
No,
you
I don't. I don't want
you to have a voice.
Sir, I don't want you silenced. I want you to stop just like a woman. And I understand you probably have a mental illness, which we need to work on getting help for people like that. But what we can't do is continue promoting people dressed up as a woman with a bunch of makeup on. You're like 6'3", I believe, 6'2" or something like that. Last time I saw you.
When I'm all dressed up, I'm like 6'5". I go out there and I loudly and proudly stand up against the LGBTQIA radicalism.
Stop saying that. Stop, hey, bro, stop saying that.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are
you
LGBTQ radicalism. You know that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
What's that?
you are LGBTQ radicalism. I don't know how you can stand up against it if you are it. How does that make sense?
You have a complete misunderstanding of my message because you have not listened to my podcast. Suni has not listened to my podcast. I have done episodes about the radicalism within the LGBTQIA plus movement. They are communists. They are Marxists. They try to attack the traditional family. They believe that gender doesn't exist.
You try to attack the traditional family.
Oh, absolutely not.
Yes, you do.
No,
every time I see you. That's what I think.
That's nice that you think that, but I do not attack the traditional family.
Bro, you're a grown man.
Family, and that's why I am partnered with the Utah Parents United, standing up for the rights of parents within the school system and fighting the LGBTQIA.
Do you dress as a woman or are you dressed as a man when you do that?
You know what? I mix it. When it's time to be Lady Maga and have a good time, I do it.
So what message are you sending? Go ahead. One second. What message are you sending to children?
More than I don't send a message to children. And if children
wait, can I finish my question so you have a full understanding?
Absolutely.
When you are dressed as this, okay, what message are you sending to little boys?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because if I'm at a rally or I'm around my family and my nieces and nephews, you know, they see a picture of Lady Maga and they ask a question, I just do the following. So let's say I'm at a Trump rally or a rally and parents come up and they want a picture with me and they have their kids with them. This is a very sensitive terrain and I'm very aware of that. So what I do is if kids came up and wanted a picture with me, I'd say, hey guys, where are your parents? Nope, thank you. Turn around, talk to other people. But when people do take a picture, if they have kids with them, I have the kids stand by the parents. They want the picture because their parents want it. And then I say to the kids, hey guys, do you like Halloween? And they say yes. And I say, well, I am a man in a costume, which is similar to Halloween. So I am dressed up and I don't try to confuse them and say that I'm a woman or there's non-binary, genderqueer. I say, I am a man in a costume. Isn't this silly? Isn't this silly? It's
what?
So I have one question. Please answer it as brief as you can. Are you portraying yourself to be a woman when you dress up?
No, I am a man in a theatrical.
Okay, so let me call that Cap right now. You know how I know that's Cap? Read your name out loud that you typed in to get on here.
Who? What?
Read what is your name right now on the screen? What does it say?
Lady Maga USA.
It says, say it one more time.
Lady Maga USA.
If you're not portraying yourself to be a woman, why are you calling yourself a lady?
Because it's a costume, it's a character, and I'm making it very clear.
I'm sorry, I gotta drop this on you.
Why the fuck you lying? Why you always lying? Oh my god, stop fucking lying.
Bruh.
Guys, I'm glad you're bringing the F word into
Bruh. Look, I'm a Christian and I dropped the F-bomb. You can never judge me, but let's get back on topic. You are literally telling us all here, you're not depicting yourself as a woman, you're dressed in a costume. If anybody is not a part of reality, bro, I'm going to be so honest. I think it's you because your name is Lady Maga. You're dressed as a woman. I pulled up a photo of you with boobs. The only person that has boobs, bro, is a woman. That's it. That is it.
Okay, so everybody's watching. It says Lady Maga USA because that's my social media name.
Why couldn't you? But you don't look like Lady Maga. You look like Ryan. So why couldn't you just come on here as Ryan?
The message is clear that is a character I play. It's a lot of fun. It makes people happy. And I use it as a tool to piss off the left. And it really is a costume. And I am a patriot who stands up for America. It's funny that you said, what does your name say? Lady Maga USA. But within this image, I am presenting myself as the man behind the costume, the patriot behind the costume, the advocate for free speech, for our Second Amendment, for our Constitution. I want to ask Suni and Bryson a question. So we are in a culture war that is worse than anything we've ever seen in the United States.
Facts.
Facts, of course. And you guys are in the trenches and you guys run out of ammunition and I show up dress as Lady Maga with extra bullets for the fight. I don't understand why you can't say, because you can disagree with me, but can we not agree that we have to save free speech? We have to save our Constitution. We have to save our Second Amendment, and we have to defend religious freedom. Because here in Utah, I live around the Mormons, and I grew up Mormon, and the LGBTQIA plus people are trying to shut down their university. They're trying to shut down their churches. And I say, no, we have to stand up for the religious freedom of all people.
So, real quick, you asked a question about the culture war. The problem with this analogy you brought in this culture war, you are the side I am fighting against. I don't know where you think you are in this battle, because this is good versus evil. The Bible clearly states dressing as a woman is abominable. So you engage in abominable acts every time I've seen you in real life. You are a walking abomination according to the scriptures. You can't be on my side. We can't be on the same team in that aspect. Not saying you can't be a Republican. You can be a cross-dressing Republican. But when y'all start calling yourself, I never heard you say this specifically, Lady Maga, so I'm gonna let you slide on this. But to Ryan, you can't call yourself a conservative. I don't know who taught you the definition of conservative. What's your name, Ryan? I don't know who taught you the definition of conservative, but you might need to do a Google check. You might need to pick up a dictionary, because you cannot be conservative and not support traditional values, period. And social conservatism in this country only exists because of Christianity. Matter of fact, if you're not religious, I don't even know why you're fighting for the Constitution, because it wasn't written for you in the first place.
That's very, I'm glad you expressed yourself clearly. Neither of you have listened to my podcast with religious right conservatives coming together to save our fundamental freedoms. Because guess what, you guys? If I wanted to join the left and dress up as a drag queen, I would have a platform until the end of time. I lost my job at Delta Airlines. I was a flight attendant for 8 years. And they came for me and they got me fired from my job for taking pictures with guns and speaking out against Black Lives Matter. So I have sacrificed more than most people in order to stand up for our Constitution and our Second Amendment. Suni, you're making that face, but you haven't listened to my podcast. You haven't.
I don't care about your podcast, bro. I'm talking about you saying I've sacrificed. Please, people make sacrifices every day, B. It ain't nothing new.
Of course they do.
So you're not special. People make sacrifices.
Yeah, I just feel like you guys are here to.
You can feel that, and it's the only reason you feel that is because we disagree. I'm always going to disagree with you dressing as a woman. I'm always going to disagree with you depicting yourself as one. If you came on here as Ryan, I would be like, yo, what's up? What are you pushing? Oh, that's what you're pushing? Trust and believe. If you weren't running around dressed like this, nobody would be saying anything to you.
Yeah, but it's what I like to do. It makes me happy.
That's great. And we're allowed to have an opinion on what you do. It's public.
I know your opinion. I've made that very clear.
You told me in Houston you did not like dressing in drag.
Well, it's a big effort. It's 2 hours of getting ready. It's exhausting, and the novelty has worn off, but I do it as a political tool to take a stand and piss off the leftists. And that's the platform that I built. And I know you guys hate me, but I make a lot of people.
Stop it, man. Stop. Like you're not going to get on here and create buzzwords and say people hate you. Nobody ever said we hated you. Stop that shit. I'm just going to kick you the fuck off right now. Don't do that.
I stand corrected. You don't hate me. You disagree with me, right?
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm not here to, I'm literally not here to like shoot you guys.
Then don't say hate. You know what you're doing when you're saying that. Don't play games. I'm a very intelligent woman.
But I see what you're saying. You don't hate me. You disagree with me. And that's corrected. We agree on that. That we disagree. Because I don't hate you guys. You don't hate me. But we disagree on the fundamental freedom that I should have to be able to dress in a costume and do what makes me happy.
You have that freedom. Go ahead,
Both of you would make it illegal. I'm asking you a serious question.
Can you not group me in with Bryson? Because you've never heard me say that out of my mouth.
Okay, you're right. Bryson, would you make it illegal for me to dress up as I dress up as Lady Maga?
Yeah, easy.
Okay, well, that's an oligarchy, and that is not.
No,
that is defending the freedom of all.
The issue with you keep talking about freedom and constitution, and I don't know if you skipped over this, and Sunni brought it up to John, and he sort of tried to run past it and said, racism, people had slaves. The Constitution wasn't written for you. It was written for a religious and moral people, not you. You are not religious nor moral. So the Constitution was not written for you, Ryan. I don't know why you keep saying that. It's not for you. This country, no, it's not for you. You might need to go to Fiji or someplace like that.
So was the Constitution written for adulterers? Was it written for chain smokers? Was it written for alcoholics? Was it written for, idolaters, people who worship idolaters? Is the Constitution only for perfect, moral, clean-cut, absolutely wonderful Christians like you?
So there's a difference between a worker of iniquity and someone who slips up. You, my friend, are a worker of iniquity. Why do I say that? Yeah. Why do I? Psalm 5:5, brother, pick it up. And the reason I say you are a worker of iniquity, because you have no wants to change. You are not struggling with sin. You are living in your sin. So this is the difference between somebody that slips up and a worker of iniquity. And also, I didn't write the Constitution, so I don't know why you're mad at me. This is people that wrote the Constitution who said it was written for moral and religious people. And the Bible was the matter of fact, there wouldn't be a Constitution without the Bible. You are fully aware of that, right?
I agree with that. We were founded on Christian principles, although if you really dig into Benjamin Franklin and Thomas Jefferson, they brought in the argument that we cannot convince everyone that the Bible and Christianity is the ultimate foundation, because Jewish people, Muslim people, Buddhist people are capable of being patriotic Americans and continuing our American way of life and our freedoms. Do you agree with that?
If there wasn't a Bible, would there be the United States of America?
That honestly, that's a great question. I would say no, but then I pose you the question: are Buddhists and Muslims and Jews also included in our Constitution? Because their interpretation of the Christian Bible is very different. They only believe in the Old Testament. So my question to you is, would our Constitution exist if we only had the Old Testament? I mean, this is just a fascinating topic.
All the New Testament does repeat what the Old Testament says in new ways.
Exactly.
So I don't know why you even said that. Also, I don't know what you're talking about. The Muslims don't read the Old Testament or New Testament. The Muslims read the Quran. I don't know where you are going with what you're saying. I genuinely don't.
Well, you're telling me that I'm a drag artist. I'm not allowed. The Constitution was not written for me. So I'm asking you.
A moral and religious people is what John Adams said, sir.
Right. And as far as you guys don't know me, I am a moral and religious person. So he left. Yeah, that's fascinating. So let's just, anybody who's still watching, let's notice who backed out of the conversation and who's still here. And I was just about to ask him, so is John Harvey a moral person as a Muslim?
Sunni says religion and not judge people based on ourselves on religion. You don't make any sense. Look, I'm going to have an opinion on you because you do this publicly. If you don't like it, the only thing I suggest you do is stop doing it, because people are going to have an opinion. Same thing I tell anybody else. If you don't like me talking about you, then don't do it publicly, because I'm going to talk on it. I'm going to speak on everything else. I have children, and I'm going to be honest. My kids would look at you like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And I would have to explain that to them as a parent, which is what most people don't understand. When we come home, I have to explain to my babies, Mom, why is that man dressed as a woman? You know what, honey? That is their business. I don't agree with it. I think it's pretty weird. But they're 8, 9, and 6.
And all you
I had to explain that to my kids.
That is a crazy guy who dresses in a costume. End of story. You don't have to explain anything. I'm not here to.
I'm not going to tell them it's a costume.
And why? It is a costume. I'm a biological man who wears a wig and a costume for entertainment, and because I love it. I love being creative. I love getting out there and having a good time. That's all you have to say. That is a man wearing a costume. He is not a woman. End of story. I don't understand why that's such a big deal to explain that.
Because I'm a Christian and it's a big deal to me. That it doesn't matter what you understand.
But
What needs to be
you
understood.
want your kids to believe I'm a woman?
Where did you hear me say that?
You said
Nowhere.
you will not explain that it's just a costume.
No. I said you don't have to understand, and I will not tell them it's a costume. I'm going to tell them you're dressing as a woman.
Exactly. Okay. Well, that is a man dressed as a woman. That is a man. I am not, in fact, a woman. It is a costume.
We know that. That's obvious.
Yeah.
That is blatantly obvious, and that's not the conversation here. But
right.
You came on. I'm not exactly sure what the hell you came on here for, other than to try to make it seem like people hate you when we don't. That's absurd.
No, I'll make it very clear. Obviously, a lot of negative things have been said. I'm told I'm a sinner. The Constitution is not for me. I'm not here to be a victim. I want you guys.
You are, though.
How
say,
so?
Oh, negative things were said about me and I'm a sinner, but I'm not here to be a victim. You literally just led with being a victim.
No, you're putting words in my mouth. I said earlier, and I continue to say, I support your voice. I defend your free speech. We disagree on certain issues, but I did a debate with the Westboro Baptist Church. I stand for free speech for all people. I'm not here to shut you down. And any other LGBTQIA plus person on the left would want it to be illegal for you to say the things you're saying. And I defend your constitutional right to free speech, to do you, stand for what you believe in. But I have a hard time with your opinions of me because you haven't even bothered to look at what I do.
I'm sorry. We live in a world where we have the freedom of speech to say whatever we want. I'm sorry you're struggling with that.
No, when did I say I don't support your free speech, Suni? When did
I ever say you don't support it? No, I said I'm sorry you're struggling with my opinion.
Well, I struggle with your opinion because you have not bothered to investigate what I really stand for and what I have done politically as an activist.
That's the problem with you guys. You care so much. Well, you don't know the person I am. Well, I'm not really interested in that based on what you present to me.
That's fascinating because you cannot base your opinion on another person without, especially a public persona like myself, without.
Why? People do it to me every day.
Well, I'm not going to do it to you. This is the first time I've ever heard of you or seen you. But if I'm going to form an opinion on you, I'm going to do a little research before I judge your political activism. And as you'll notice,
I never judge your political activism.
Okay, you can say that. That's very interesting.
I judged you dressing as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
That's not political activism. That's you dressing as a woman.
Well, that's categorically false. Dressing up as a Trump supporting. By the way, you and Bryson, y'all love President Trump. You know what he did? He was in
I don't give a damn what Trump did. Trump is not my God.
Well, exactly. But he was in Mar-a-Lago and there were drag queens there. Trump invites everybody to the conservative table to save our fundamental freedoms.
And I don't agree with him. So I don't know what your point was saying that to me.
Would you still vote for Trump?
Probably not, because he goes against what I believe in.
Okay. Well, you're honest. Good. You wouldn't vote for Trump. So I still support Donald Trump. I would hope that he runs again. And I agree with his movement. But it's just so fascinating to me that someone like you would reject someone like me.
What does someone like me mean? Unpack that.
Unpack that. You are a conservative. You are a Christian. You believe in the traditional family. You do not believe in drag or whatever. And I just met you, but I see the American flag. You're friends with Bryson. I'm guessing you are an America First, Second Amendment supporting constitutionalist, free speech absolutist, getting out there to stand up for your kids and your future, fight communism, fight socialism. Is that basically, who you are and what you stand for?
Yeah.
Well, and honestly, Suni, I admire you. I'm grateful for your voice. I know it sounds crazy that a drag artist like me might say that, but here in Utah, I defend the Mormons. I defend the Christians. I defend the traditional family because my way of living as a gay man and a drag artist, I'm in a anomaly, whatever the word is. I'm not mainstream. I don't believe that my viewpoint should be imposed or forced on anybody else. And the mainstream LGBTQIA plus movement, they don't want tolerance, they don't want inclusion, they don't want acceptance, they want cultural dominance to make it illegal for people like you to even go to a church that might disagree with them. That's what's so scary about the mainstream LGBTQIA plus movement is they're not about freedom for themselves to live their life. They're about cultural dominance. And I've never ever said that anybody out there needs to like what I do. If they do, awesome. And if they don't, that's okay. Because I'm a free speech absolutist.
So then,
Can I
what?
say one thing, guys?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me say something real quick. I've got to take care of my daughter.
Yeah.
Suni, I enjoyed it. I really did.
Thank
Bryson,
you.
I appreciate you. And let's make no mistake about it. No matter what this talk is about, and we may disagree on certain things, but I am a straight conservative. And I'll fight with you any day of the week. It doesn't matter to me. As long as we stand in the pit together, we stand for something. So,
John, before you go,
yes.
are we
Brian,
gonna clear this up?
Okay, let's clear this up right now, Brian.
Okay, please.
Brian, you explain what happened here.
Okay, so there's a board member. She's in that picture. She contacted me and she said, BLEXIT has been buying dinners for families. And we know that LGBT gay conservatives have lost their friends and families. So we want to provide a dinner for you. And because she was on BLEXIT, I understood that this is BLEXIT buying a dinner. But after the event, she said, nope, this was me, the owner of Brixton's, and we bought it. So please clarify that it wasn't an official BLEXIT event. So we clarified it on social media. We posted about it, and it's no big deal. It really is no big deal.
Oh, it was, but thank you for clearing that up.
But we weren't part of that event. Yes or no?
No, you were not.
BLEXIT was not part of that.
No.
I did not sign off on that.
No, it was you shared the post because Jamie and we made the flyer. We wanted people to come, but there were lies spread saying that.
So who made this?
Well, they said that Lady Maga USA was hosting this event. That is false.
But who made this?
Well, I shared it on my social media.
But who made it?
I made it. Not BLEXIT. I made that. And I posted that, hoping that people would come. And they did. And it was a very nice event. And at the event, we clarified and understood that, you know what? Jamie, the board member of BLEXIT, organized it and she paid for it. And we had put out that flyer and she made it clear that it was her. We contacted John. John wasn't even there. And Lady Maga was nowhere in sight. I'm Ryan Woods. I'm the president of Log Cabin, Utah. And we got together and we had a nice event. I don't understand why this would be a scandal because
the Log Cabin group goes against directly what we believe as conservatives. No, that's why. I've done my research.
Okay.
I've seen the work that they've done.
Well, have you heard of the gay bakery in Denver that refused to bake a cake for the gays?
Sure.
Yeah. Well, the president of Log Cabin, Colorado, went there and said, we support your freedom to not bake a cake. Would you bake a log cabin cake?
Doesn't overshadow everything else they do. Sorry.
What do? We stand for the Constitution, free speech.
No, you want to fight for people to be openly gay in the classroom, which is weird as fuck. Go there to teach. Kids don't need to know you're gay. They sued the government. I know you got to go. Go ahead, John. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, I got to take care of my kid. All right.
Thanks for coming on.
You're a patriot and you want to see this country be saved, and he's a hero. And I just feel bad that people are attacking him.
Nobody's attacking him. I'm very direct and blunt. This was not attack. You heard him say that he respected the conversation, and we had it. It may be tough, but it's not an attack.
Well, not you, but here in Utah, he's definitely, his character has been put in question. He's been, insulted.
Rightfully so.
Yeah. Why? He's an amazing alpha.
I literally just told you why. I don't believe in same-sex marriage.
Mhm.
the majority of the Republican
I
Party doesn't believe in same-sex marriage, but
I
your organization fought for it. They sued the government for don't ask, don't tell, which directly affects my life because now my husband has to adhere to weird ass rules. I don't know how much more they fought against people having public knowledge of transgenders being in a bathroom with them. You are for our constitutional rights, but you don't believe in preserving traditional values. That doesn't make any sense.
When it comes to transgender bathrooms and that issue, I recently released a statement in support of Utah Parents United about that entire issue. And again, you haven't read that statement. I'm literally standing up for women's sports and the
I'm not
rights
talking
of
about you. We're
biological
talking
women.
about the log cabin group that you said was for conservative values when they're directly fighting against everything we believe in.
Okay. I'm not sure when and where they have fought for that, but I know the modern platform of Log
Okay.
Cabin is freedom for all, honestly.
What freedoms don't you have, sir?
No, I'm saying we're supporting freedom for all. Whether you're
Mm.
black, white, conservative, evangelical, or gay, we got to unite and save free speech, save the rights of everybody. And that does include religious conservatives. That's why I brought up the example of the president of Log Cabin in Colorado going to that bakery to let them know that you do not have to bake us a cake that you're uncomfortable with. Could you bake us a cake for our party? And he became friends with that person. So we're trying to build bridges because our existence, well, the way I see it, I don't speak for Log Cabin, but the way I see it is what I love to do and my costumes and my life should never infringe on the rights of other people or try to get them canceled or cut off or discriminated against. Because right now, honey, a Christian conservative, especially if you're white, they are in big trouble. Nobody who's LGBT is in big trouble unless you're a conservative like me. And I was fired from my job. And to tell you the truth, I had an 8-year career as a flight attendant, and I was fired for taking pictures with guns. And you dismiss that as ho hum. We all deal with that. No, not every conservative has lost their career of 8 years as I did for being a conservative.
Conservatives are losing their jobs for not wanting to get a shot. Conservative soldiers are losing out on their pension for not wanting to get a shot. Conservative men and women have been losing for the past 4 years. So big whoop. We're all going through something. Why are you special?
You know what? I actually kind of agree with you. I should stop crying and just say I'm part of the team of people standing up for something and losing their jobs. That's the other thing. I mean, you and me, I'm pretty sure we're on the same page when it comes to the experimental jabs and the medical freedom rights of people across the globe. I wish we could join together and say, I don't like Lady Maga's costumes. I don't like that he dresses up, but I'm glad that he's promoting medical freedom, Second Amendment, free speech. And isn't that kind of the point of the marketplace of ideas, is that everybody gets to have their voice, and then in the free speech marketplace of ideas, we figure out which ideas are good and bad. And if you and I, like right now, you and I are debating this, and I know there's people who love Lady Maga who are agreeing with me, and there's people who hate me, who I won't say hate. There's people who disagree with me who agree with you, but this is free speech, man. Like we're having the debates that we got to have.
Free speech. Okay. I'm gonna play something for you.
Okay.
Because
Please.
you're saying free
You know what?
speech.
I don't like the F word and I don't like explicit content. So if it's vulgar, please don't play it.
Bro, you're on a platform that says curse words.
Okay.
If you
All right.
can't take
All
a
right.
curse word, then I'm
Give me a warning. That's
bye.
fair. That's fair. You gave me a warning. You gave me a warning. You're gonna play.
Oh man, this is gonna be interesting. What I don't get is why you guys don't understand. We just don't agree, and we don't have to agree. It becomes
No, we do not have to agree about drag. We do not.
even the whole gay, straight, whatever the fuck it is. If people just don't agree with you being gay, then just be like, okay, cool. You don't agree.
That's
But
how-
no, you're You're discriminating. How? What? So I don't have the freedom to say, nah, I'm good, bro. I don't
Where
want to be around that.
where have I said that?
I'm not, because you keep saying, I just don't understand why you would have an issue with me. And I keep literally telling you what the issue is.
Right. And I'm telling you that that's okay. But we do live in a free
You,
country where you're going to encounter people who do things that you disagree with. But I'm not trying to shut you down, Suni. I literally am grateful for your voice. I'm serious. I'm not kissing. Bryson said I'm trying to play that game. I'm being totally sincere that pop culture is against us. And the fact that his songs are rising to the top and he's actually making a dent in the Apple communist iTunes, I truly, truly am grateful for that. I'm not trying to kiss his butt. I really am. Because as far as I'm concerned, I view him as a fellow patriot. Um, he doesn't view me that way, and that's okay. But honestly, like, I'm not here to shut anybody down. The people I will shut down are the people in the LGBTQIA plus community who are advocating for transgender procedures to be performed without parental consent. Like, that's where the craziness is. I don't care how right wing you are, anti-gay, whatever somebody is. That's not my fear. My fear is the left, and that they are manipulating people, especially kids like I was, into getting transgender procedures and hormones, and it's very scary. So that's one reason I entered this arena, because you know they're 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 ruining lives, and these trans kids are killing themselves not because of homophobia, but because they're being injected with estrogen when they're a man, if that makes any sense.
of course.
Mhm.
Whew.
Yeah, no, I know this is heavy, but I'm glad you said stop saying people hate me. I like that. It's true. We disagree, and at the end of the day, someone like you, I mean, with the new YouTube rules and the new CEO of Twitter, voices like yours are being silenced, and I don't want you silenced. I'll openly say that, I'm not against your free speech. We disagree on certain things, but Suni, I know in your heart you want your heterosexual family to go forward in strength in your Christian faith without discrimination. You don't want your kids damn confused by all this LGBTQIA plus crap. And my existence, like, I've tried to explain it. If anybody doesn't like it, I immediately just explain that I am a biological man. I'm theatrical. I love to dress up, but it bothers me when Bryson says you are the LGBTQIA plus movement. That's a real big generalization. And like I said, if you listen to my podcast with, conservative Christians and other people, I support their free speech. If I were mainstream LGBTQIA plus, kind of like Bryson said, I would not support your free speech. I wouldn't even talk to you. I'm glad to talk to you. I'm grateful for your voice. Seeing a beautiful black woman next to the American flag, God bless you. I mean, come on.
I mean, look, man, I have to agree with Bryson. You guys try to differentiate yourselves. Well, I'm not that. I'm not the liberal gay person,
I'm really not, though.
but I'm the conservative gay person. You're both saying the exact same thing, just attaching yourselves to different political parties.
Absolutely not, because the people on the left would try to shut down speech that disagrees with them. And as a conservative, I do not try to shut it down. I don't.
Tom.
Hey, Tom, why you got that Confederate flag? That's hate speech. That's
No,
violence
that's
against all.
Southern pride.
I know. I'm totally kidding.
We're not hung up on clothing, all right? Look, if you want to be taken serious, first impressions are lasting impressions.
Mm,
And I see you doing that. That's my impression of you. And you can't get mad at people. And I'm talking to Tom and be like, oh, you're judging. We fucking judge every day. We literally judge when we walk down the street. If I don't
absolutely.
like the way you look, I'm probably going to get away from you. I'm sorry. If you don't like it, you just don't like it. But I'm not in this world to do things that you like. I'm here to spread a message, be a wife and a mom, and go about my merry way. So the whole like, Well, it's what's the big deal? It's clothing, bro. It is the way you are expressing yourself. That is why we have an issue. If people would just leave their sexuality at home,
But
kind of like I don't shove my Christianity down anybody's throat.
right. But
I'm not forcing anybody to be Christian. I'm good.
honestly,
Look, you're not Christian? Great, I am.
but honestly, Suni, when it comes to the costumes and stuff and the dress up, to me, it's not an expression of my sexuality. It really isn't. I keep my sexuality, um, you know, like this is a hard topic. Politics are difficult because I identify publicly as gay in hopes of awakening other gay patriots to be more like Dave Rubin or Rob Smith or whoever to join the movement. That's the only reason I bring it up. In a perfect world, I wouldn't even have to mention it. But my goal is to awaken gay patriots and even drag queens. It's funny. I've gotten messages.
Why do you have to say gay patriots? If you guys listen, I'm gonna tell you how you put your foot in your mouth every time. I just want to be like every other American. We'll function in the world like every other American. Why do we give a shit that you're gay? Why should I care that you're gay?
Well, I could ask the same question to BLEXIT. Why do you have to identify as black?
Because clearly we're black and we're trying to appeal to a black audience to leave a political party, not your sexuality. So you're partaking in an identity politics when you say, "Well, I'm gay."
Well, gay people exist. We are a group. We're
what is special about being gay?
Nothing.
So then why do you have to highlight it?
Because until we reach a perfect place where identity politics don't play a role, the left has cultural dominance over people who happen to be gay. And we're trying to tell them, like, if you look at Brokeback Patriot or Rob Smith or Dave Rubin or me or Scott Pressler or or Blair White or Ariel Scarcella, our message is we are Americans first, and that is what matters the most. And honestly, that is I don't come out and say gay first, American second. No, I'm a patriot. I'm a gun-owning patriot who loves this country and who is standing up for everybody's freedom. Because if we don't, we're going to end up like Australia. And that's why every voice needs to join the movement, even if we don't get along perfectly within our own circles. To me, infighting within the conservative movement is so sad because our enemy is winning. Sweetheart, they've locked us down. They have shut down our businesses.
Who's locked down?
The left.
Who's locked down?
Well, look at Los Angeles, and not locked down, but the COVID rules where you have to present. I wanted to go to Jordan Peterson's speech here in Utah, but the venue requires a mandatory COVID test.
Dressed as a man or a woman?
I don't know, whatever I feel like, dressing up or not. But that's beside the point, because the venue is requiring a COVID test, and I don't think they have the right to force me to take a medical test in order to go into an arena. So we're fighting on that front. We're fighting. When I say lockdown, I mean Australia, Ireland.
Australia has nothing to do with America. If you're America first, then fuck Australia.
Yeah,
fuck Ireland and fuck any other place. That's not America.
But if you don't think that can happen here, and the left isn't going to try to do that here, you're mistaken. They want exactly what's happened in Australia. They want medical segregation. They want division. They want, it's crazy. The Democrats, their fantasy is to punish unvaccinated people.
And what are Republicans doing about it?
That's my damn question. And that's why I tweet about it all the time. They're not doing crap about it. They're not doing crap. And it makes me extremely angry. Yeah.
Well, man, look, as a black person who has exited the Democrat plantation, I'm going to be honest. I have no interest in forming an alliance with anybody who identifies their sexuality first. I have no interest with forming an alliance with anybody who walks around in drag. And you know what? It's not discrimination. It is, I have a preference and I don't agree or align with any of that. So the answer is no. And if you want to understand why it was such a big deal, what I just said to you is how a lot of us felt looking at that flyer. we don't need to attach ourselves to anything gay. BLEXIT stands strong on its own.
Well,
It stands strong on its own.
I did clarify that their board member, who I assumed was presenting this event as BLEXIT, she wasn't. So I feel like
Did she say that? Because I feel like you're
Yeah.
saving face right now for her ass.
No, she did. She said that at the event, and she said, "Listen, Ryan, this was my bad. You thought it was BLEXIT. It was me and my restaurant doing this, and we had BLEXIT board members there. And so, yeah, there has been a little backtracking, but it really is, in all honesty, it wasn't John.
So who posted it? If it was not BLEXIT,
I made that.
But they posted it on their platform, and I asked John, and of course John didn't tell me the truth. We'll get to the bottom of it. But she didn't say this until after everybody flipped the fuck out. That's the point of contention. If you truly didn't assign this as a BLEXIT event, then why was there an entire flyer posted onto the BLEXIT Utah chapter website, Facebook, and also tagged on Twitter?
Because in all honesty, the director of BLEXIT Utah didn't see an issue, and he said, "We will collaborate with fellow patriots and have a nice event."
Boom! You told the truth. Thank you. I appreciate that, because he got on here and just straight fucking lied. I hope Candace is watching, and I hope Brandon is watching, because this is a problem.
Well, if they say that BLEXIT will not ever associate with other patriot groups like the Log Cabin Republicans or individual Republicans who happen to be gay, then they're shooting themselves in the foot, because we got to join together to say
we are black exiting the Democratic Party. We don't need anything gay attached. You know why? Because BLEXIT is to inform the youth on what American values are, to promote entrepreneurship, to promote freedom of mind, to promote school choice. What does any of that have to do with your sexual preference and what you decide to do behind closed doors?
Are you an official member of BLEXIT? Or
what does that have to do with anything that I just said?
No, I'm just curious. I'm like,
no. Just answer my question. Everything I just listed to you, you said we're shooting ourselves in the foot. What does that have to do with anything?
Because you have warriors and soldiers standing up for free speech, our Constitution, and our Second Amendment.
But is BLEXIT fighting for any of that? Or are they fighting for school choice, criminal justice reform, entrepreneurship, inspiring minorities to succeed, and bringing that to a visual background and more appealing to the youth? Does any of what you said stand for what BLEXIT is standing for?
Free speech, Second Amendment, Constitution.
Does any of what you said have anything to do with what BLEXIT stands for?
What I'm saying is we are a large movement of gay patriots.
But what does that have to do with school choice, criminal justice, entrepreneurship, and inspiring minority minds?
We stand for it. We agree with it. But I think BLEXIT does stand for the Constitution, free speech.
What does that have to do with being gay?
Nothing, but our fight for all of that, we're not out there fighting for homosexuality. We're fighting for the Constitution.
So then stop leading with you're gay.
For free speech. We're fighting for the Second Amendment. We're not leading. We're just recognizing that we're here.
You said, I don't know how many times you said gay patriots. I don't know how many times you said gay conservative in this conversation on the same breath, saying, well, we're not leading with gay. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
Like I've said, identifying as that right now is necessary.
I know what he's saying. I'm not an idiot.
I don't think you're an idiot. I actually
I'm
think
talking to the comments, not you.
Oh, somebody. No, don't call her an idiot. This is Suni. She's obviously a patriot, taking her time. I'm guessing she's not making a lot of money standing up for what she believes in. So freaking respect her. Do not call her an idiot. Even if you agree with me and you feel like, you got no. Suni's voice matters. Bryson's voice matters. And my voice matters, because at the end of the day, we're all in the trenches fighting the encroachment of socialism, cultural dominance by the left, censorship, and we just got to stand up. We really just have to stand up. That's why.
So just to be clear, school choice, criminal justice reform, education programs, entrepreneurships, and inspiring minority minds have nothing to do with the log cabin group and them encroaching the fact that they're gay conservatives.
Well, the log cabin Republicans are publicly endorsing candidates who are not gay, who stand for all
But
of
that's great. Let's focus on what I'm asking about BLEXIT.
Well, we're endorsing candidates that support
But
your.
what does that have to do with BLEXIT?
Well, that is
BLEXIT doesn't endorse candidates.
So BLEXIT only stands.
Do you know anything about BLEXIT?
Of course I do.
So if you know what BLEXIT is about, then why are you having such a hard time with the 5 core tenets that they have on their website right now? It has nothing to do with political candidates or anything gay.
You said those 5 things, but I feel like the Constitution, free speech, and the Second Amendment should be added to that. And because
but it doesn't matter what you feel. What matters is what stands.
Okay, so they do not stand for the Constitution, free speech, and the Second Amendment?
I never said that. You did.
No, but that's what I'm asking. Is that part of your platform?
I'm sorry, what?
Is standing up for the Constitution, free speech, and the Second Amendment part of BLEXIT's platform?
Standing for the Constitution, yeah, they're teaching the Constitution. I mean, I can pull up but that has nothing to do with what I'm asking you.
Was that Ann Coulter on your website?
So advocating for school choice, alternative educational opportunities, promoting criminal justice reform, championing entrepreneurship, free enterprise, developing history programs that will inspire minority children to succeed and lead productive and responsible lives, presenting a message of BLEXIT through evocation of visual art and compelling live experiences. What does that have to do with being gay?
Well, I'm just saying that our group stands for the Constitution, free speech, the Second Amendment, and endorses candidates who defend all of the values you've talked about within BLEXIT. So at the very minimum, we're not your enemies. I mean,
I'm not calling you an enemy. I'm asking you, what does that have to do with what BLEXIT is standing for?
Well, I think BLEXIT overall stands for more than those 5 things. Because I did not hear the word Constitution, I did not hear the word free speech, and I did not see the words Second Amendment. But I know that every member of BLEXIT supports those things. And we as log cabin Republicans, I'm not speaking on behalf of them, but gay conservatives and even Lady MAGA USA, we support those things. And I personally align with all 5 of those things. So why would you reject somebody who wants to promote your movement and make it bigger?
Why do you have to do it while being gay?
Well, because I am gay, and quite frankly, this is America. I love to dress up. I love to do things theatrically, and I don't think that that is the end of the world unless I'm trying to force it on other people, and I'm not. I don't care if anybody in the world likes to do what I do. I have no need to be culturally dominant and force other people to agree with me. I just love theatricality. I love costumes. I love makeup. I love colors. I love fashion. And in the man's world, all I get to do is wear a suit and tie, and I just think it's so boring.
Okay.
So, well, I'm glad we have this. I'm glad we had this conversation, Suni. I'm grateful for your voice. I'm grateful that you stand up for what you believe in. You are what? 0.00001% of conservatives who even have the courage to put their real picture on Twitter. You know what I mean? People don't join the movement. They're afraid to say anything because they're afraid of backlash, which clearly you are not. And I'm so used to it by now that, I'll talk to anybody. It's okay if people don't agree with me or they really don't appreciate what I do. But I really just wish, even if you don't listen to my podcast, please just scroll over the topics. I mean, I'm pro-life. I did an interview with the director of Pro-Life Utah, and she's a hero. And then I did an interview with Breonna Taylor, and she is that Jones, Breonna Jones. She's a Black girl with cerebral palsy, and she chose not to abort her baby. So that whole podcast was not about drag. It was not about dressing up. It's about the fundamental core values of, saving babies' lives and bringing people together. I'm not I'm not out here to advocate for drag. I'm here to advocate for my country. I just love to dress up. Honestly, it's that simple. I could care less if America or other people embrace drag. Who cares? You know, nobody has to like what I do.
Absolutely not. I'm glad you understand that.
Well, I want them to like what I stand for, though. And if they're pro-life, I want them to appreciate that I go to pro-life rallies. If they're pro-Second Amendment, I want them to appreciate that. If that makes sense. And by the way, I'm really disappointed that that Bryson just cut off like that. We could have continued the conversation. He could have yelled at me. He could have disagreed. It's okay. You know, I don't think we need to cut each other off. Like, let's just keep going. And I'm guessing you and me at the end of this are probably going to agree to disagree. But hey, here's my cat. Do you like cats? Are you a cat person? Isn't she cute? Kitty.
Yeah.
Hello to Suni. She's got those blue eyes. She's a good little kitty.
Thanks for coming on.
No,
Appreciate it.
well, God bless you. And I hope that, you know, people who are watching at least feel good that they watched a conversation about things. You know what I mean?
Appreciate it, man.
All right. Is this going to be on YouTube or are
Mhm.
we on StreamYard or where are we right now? Because I just clicked the link. I don't even know where we are.
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll have somebody send you the link.
All right. Well, I'm going to follow you and God bless you. And if I disrespected you in any way, I apologize.
Not at all. It was a respectful conversation. We just don't agree.
That's right. All right. All right. You go
Thanks.
have a great night. God bless you.
Thank you guys for tuning into another episode of Matter. This was a 2-hour episode. I'm tired, I will say. John tiptoed around what I said. He called the founding father bigots. He called Christians bigots. I'm going to go live on Instagram. It was a fun, interesting day. Very fun. Thank you to Ryan for coming on. I'm not going to refer to you as Lady MAGA because I think you are much more powerful dressing as yourself. You seem like a smart guy. Just put away the extra like clownery, man. That's just it. I respect everybody's right to be an American. Thanks for tuning in. I hope I made you think. And I hope you come back on Wednesday. Peace out.